Lika TV, and I am your boy Casey. As you are all aware, Nigeria is a country of diversity, and in fact, some call it the Tower of Babel of Africa. And today we're going to be taking you through a cultural discussion about Nigeria and its diversity. I have with me here Mr. Ebel.
Thank you
Mr.
very
Ebel,
much.
thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're welcome to the show. Yeah. Mr. Ebel is an Igala man.
Yes, proud one.
As you can see him. And today we are talking about culture. You're aware of Nigeria. Nigeria has a lot of culture.
Yes.
And a lot of beautiful voices, beautiful people.
Very.
And some have referred to us the Babel of Africa because of our cultural diversity. And today we're going to be looking at some of the things that make Nigeria a unique place to be. You know, all over the world, when you go, you see beautiful culture. And when you come to Nigeria, you see beautiful cultures.
Of course.
Yet, untapped. These cultures are still untapped.
Completely.
And we're going to be looking at it from a lot of perspective. Okay. In fact, this our discussion should take a couple of days. I'm very sure of that, because you can't discuss culture in a day.
In a day, not
and when you look at culture, culture is just the people. When you remove the culture from the people, then they cease to be who they are.
Exactly.
That's about culture.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get your perspective. When you hear culture, what comes to your mind when you hear culture?
Well, first thing is identity. That's what comes to my mind. Culture is it defines a people, particular place or particular time you get. So when you hear culture, you would want to know who is this person. So culture defines what these people are, what they do, their behaviors, the mode of communication, their kind of food, their kind of dressing, everything that defines them. That's what the culture is, including the language they speak, everything. So like you said, you remove the culture out of it, you remove the person, you have a blank person.
Quite interesting. Now, when you go back to history,
yes,
before this, the amalgamation of Nigeria into a single country. Now, when you talk about a people, something comes to your mind. There must be something that comes to your mind, and that is culture.
Very true.
When you talk about the Igbo man, you may imagine children dancing. Igbos are known for it.
Imagine the red cap chief.
The red cap chiefs.
Exactly.
Those are the things that make
those staffs, the talks they hold.
Exactly. So when you talk about Igbo, when you talk about Ishiago, you know the cloth Ishiago.
Yes.
So you remember that this is Igbo.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about the Igala.
Okay.
You are an Igala man.
Yes, I am.
And of course, Igala are friends to Igbos.
Of course.
And some have said we are relatives.
We share boundaries. So
we share boundaries and we are relatives.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about Igala. When we talk about an Igala man, what do you think should come to our mind first? We'll talk about the Igbos. What do you think should come to our mind when we talk about the Igalas?
Now, when the first thing that should come to your mind is his origin. And of course, when you hear an Igala man, you begin to ask, what language does he speak? You get what kind of food does he eat? What's peculiar about him? What makes him an Igala person? Now, what makes an Igala man is his roots, and his roots is traced back to Ata of Igala. You understand? That's where we all come from. So when you hear an Igala person, you begin to think, okay, I should see him in his attire, this sort of dress. He should be familiar with Obo Igogo. He should be familiar with Ojabacha.
Wait. I'm a bit confused here. You say Obo Igogo.
Yes.
What does Obo Igogo mean?
Obo Igogo is I don't know if you know Bene seed. This small seed. Sesame seed. Yes. Those small. Now they make soup out of it, and I can bet you it's one of the most delicious soup you would test.
Wow, wow. Isn't that weird? How can you make soup with a seed?
It's like a goosey soup, the melon soup you eat,
Okay.
but it has its own flair, and from the way it's prepared, the kind of things you see, the dry fish that you see inside, especially from those that the Baji part where we are from, where there is the sea, they have assorted fish. So when it is all cooked up together, you would bite your hand eating it. I'm telling you.
Interesting,
So
interesting.
it should. So an Igala man should be familiar with that. Obiolo Ipa. You get all those things. Those make an Igala man Igala man. You get it. And the festivals, the cultures, the masquerades, all of them. They make an.
Wait. You say masquerade.
Yeah.
Now there has been a lot of discussion going towards this masquerade thing, and it's difficult for any culture to lay claim on it. Now, when you go to the Yoruba land, they have their Egongo, which is their own masquerade. Now, when you go to the southeastern part of the country, we have Mang, and Anambra, you have Ijele, the big masquerade.
Okay.
Now, when you go to Idoma land, you will see elements of masquerade.
They have theirs. They have theirs, yes.
And when you go to south as well, you see masquerade.
Everywhere.
And some time ago, while I was traveling through Tivland, I saw some people trying to imitate masquerade. I don't know if they were serious
or they're just joking.
Serious. So let's talk about this masquerade. How can we define the origin of masquerade? Since all the ethnic groups are claiming it, and there is suspicion that Igala might be responsible for this masquerade.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that suspicion, although I don't know too much about it. But now, the origin of masquerade, the name we call masquerade, we call them Egu. Egu, yes. Now, Egu is, it relates to the dead. So, if the origin of masquerade would be going back to the dead land, you get. But I'm part of the living. But you see, masquerade are believed to be an intermediary, intercessors between the living and the dead. So that's where it originated from, when we began to, I believe in the olden days when they begin to lose loved ones to death. They found a way to communicate with those ones. You understand? And it is believed that they bring goodwill, they bring blessings, they maintain social order. You understand? So I think that's the origin. You can't really say this is particularly what it comes from, but from the name, it has to tell you that, okay, they have lost people and they found a way to communicate with them. You understand? That's the origin of masquerade, basically.
Okay, we talk about restoring social order, maintaining social order.
Yes.
Now, when you look at some part of the country, some time ago while traveling to Lagos, I think around, is it Ondo? I came across a group of masquerade wearing white, beating up people on the streets. And then when you go to the southeastern part of the country also, like in Anambra and Enugu, in fact, sometimes I had encounter in Enugu as well. You see young men wearing suits as masquerade, flogging people on the streets, going to market to push down things in the market.
True.
So you talk about historical masquerade being responsible for restoring social order. Now, how would you rate the contemporary masquerade that go about torturing people, even causing accidents? I saw one the other day blocking the road, and a young man just used a motorcycle and jammed a parked car.
Wow.
and caused a lot of harm to him.
So
how would you rate the original historical masquerade and this contemporary one? Do you think the recent one is a fraud?
Well, I like the way you put it. Recent one being a fraud. Now, like I mentioned before, there is a link between the spirit of the dead and masquerade. Now, for everything that has an original, there's a fake. The masquerade itself, maintaining social order, is not supposed to bring chaos. Masquerade actually are meant to, they are like, they are worshipped by a certain set of people. As a matter of fact, there are families that are dedicated to bringing them out. But you see, the recent one that are won by people, masquerade is not supposed to be won by a person. It's supposed to be occupied by the spirit of the dead, as originally supposed to be occupied by the dead. You understand? Not to be won by people. Now, when something is won by human being, bias comes in. Now, I am wearing something that's supposed to be sacred, and I see somebody that I have problem with. He doesn't know I'm the one. He only sees the masquerade that I am inside. I will take my vengeance on that person, because in the physical, I could not do it. When he offended me and I didn't do anything, was because I was powerless. Now I see that I have power. You understand me? So if a living wears masquerade, bias comes in. But the dead has no reason to be biased. He is dead and gone. So if he wears masquerade, he does only what needs to be done. You understand? That's where the difference comes in now. Those ones that create chaos, beat people, cause accident, they are purely humans. You see their legs. Some of them don't even cover their leg. They just cover their face. You will see their... In fact, I've seen where some of them are tasty. They get water to drink. You get it?
The goats are tasty.
The gods are tasty. So those ones are just mimicking what should have been. And now, because of the human nature, they do things out of control. When real masquerades are coming out, they don't just come out just like that. They come out for a purpose. Sometimes they come out to escort the king, or in coronation, to bring the king to... You understand? Those sort of things. They come out for moments of significance, not just to go on the road and beat people. No, those are not masquerade. Then they mimic them also for entertainment purposes. But masquerades are a big deal in Igala land. There are specific masquerades for specific purpose. There are specific masquerade that does things in a different way. Now, in maintaining social order, for instance, there's what they call Ibegu. Ibegu, means the people of the dead. Ibegu, you get. Now, those people, for instance, a married woman cannot go and have an affair outside. There is consequence. There is consequence. For the men, for instance, what you do for your dad or your mom, anyone that is passed, you will do the same thing for... If the dad goes first, you do the same thing for the mom when it's her turn. If not, there is consequence. So now, because of the consequence, you are careful to always do the right thing, because you know that the Ibegu are watching you. You understand? And it is those Ibegu that occupies some certain kind of masquerades when they come out and display. So their coming out is to foster interactions between the living and them. You understand? That's how it works.
So if you are watching us, please drop your comments. If you have your special dish in your culture, please drop it for us. Let us know your dish. If you have a special things in your culture that you'd like us to know, please drop it there. And if you would like to join us in this conversation, want us to call you or interview you in this conversation, please also drop your comment, drop interested, and don't forget to like and share. When we come back from the break, we'll continue our discussion.